Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're looking at synchronized swimmers. And you've got three of them there, only partially synchronized, I'm going to say, from the picture, which is actually quite apt when you take a look at today's puzzle. But take a look at the picture. You've got two swimmers that are clearly synchronized, and the third that's off doing her own thing. And then a lovely, massive Olympic swimming pool, Olympic Stadium swimming pool, and tons of supporters waving them on. But you'll understand exactly why the picture looks like it does as we look at today's puzzle, which is synchronized swimming with a question mark by willpower. So you can very easily see, once again, with the stick figures that Will, has exceeded himself as usual and excelled. And you've got a stickman figure, you've got what probably looks like front crawl, a head lying to the side, probably breathing, left arm, right arm, from a sort of top-down bird's eye view. And, the same sort of three swimmers that are potentially synchronized. Potentially synchronized, well, that's because of the question mark and the rule set that we're going to take a look at now. So we have the obvious parts. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and every 3 by 3 box. We're very familiar with that. I won't necessarily explain it any further. RENBAN lines. So numbers on purple lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive numbers in any order. So I'm just taking a look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8 cells. How am I best to explain this? So let's go with, I don't know, this happens to be a 1 through to 8 RENBAN line. Essentially, by putting a 1 in here, I need to put 8 digits, 8 consecutive digits to the 8, to the number 1, in anywhere in these lines that I've just highlighted. So somewhere in here, there will be a 2. Somewhere in here, there will be a 3. Somewhere in here will be a 4. Kind of bad placement with the cage, but ignore that for now. Etc., all the way through to the digit 8. However, none of these are going to repeat. So, for example, this can't be another 2 because I've repeated the 2 on this RENBAN line. And I can't even put a 9 on here because if I try and complete this RENBAN now, I would need to put 5, 6, and 7 and 8 because they have to be all joined up together, and the 1 and 9 can't be on an 8-cell RENBAN line. Don't know if I did a good job explaining that, but hopefully, as most of you are familiar with it, this is going to be relatively straightforward. Killer cages, that's easier. Numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So, for example, you can see that there is a cage here outlined in dashed lines. You can see in the top left corner is a 5. These 2 cells must sum up to 5. These 2 cells must sum up to 14. These 3 to 17, etc. Now, it doesn't specify that the digits do not repeat, but that's not a problem today because they're always either contained in the same box or the same row, or indeed in the same column. So clearly the digits are going to have to be unique to satisfy the Sudoku rules as well. KROPKI pairs, we've got numbers with a white dot between them, such as these 2, have to be consecutive. So if that's a 2, this would have to be 1 to be consecutive with the 2, or a 3. If a black KROPKI dot, on the other hand, has a 2, they have to be in a 1 to 2 ratio. So either this is 1, as in 1 times 2 is 2, or 2 times 2 is 4. So that would be a 1-4 pair rather than a 1-3 pair to sort of distinguish between black and white. Not all possible dots are given, so negative constraints do not apply. Now, the last rule that we have here is what's somewhat unique to this puzzle, which is swimmers are considered synchronized, hence the question mark about synchronized swimming, if all numbers on their lines are the same. Find the swimmer that is not synchronized with the other 2. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking, in this app, Will did not include a piece of information that was there on Logic Masters Germany. So I'm actually going to bring that up quickly so you see it. Can I even bring it up quickly? Is that going to take me? Yep. And you can see in here, because I kind of wondered what were the orange lines for. And you can see in here, purple and orange lines are the swimmers. Then it says swimmers are considered synchronized if all the numbers on them are the same. So I think that's this thing to bear in mind is, essentially, what this last rule is saying is there are these swimmers, you know, 3 of them on here, one is there, third one in there. 2 of them have identical digits. Identical as in they're in the same place. So if these 2 were the same, for example, and both of these would be 1. But notice the yellow lines as well, or orange lines, pardon me, would also have the same digits. So on the elbow here of the left arm, if that's a 2, then it also has to be 2 here for them to be synchronized. Now, one of them is not synchronized, so we can't make that assumption, unfortunately, all the way through the puzzle. Otherwise, it'd be too easy, surely. And with a name like Willpower, you can't really produce too many easy puzzles. Where's the power behind that? So, if you're up to the task of going for a bit of swimming, figuring out which one of the swimmers is not synchronized, link in the description down below as usual to play along. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. So the 3 cage, obvious place to start. 3 cage in 2 cells can only be the digits 1 and 2. 1 and 2 now taken from box 8. This can only be 3, 4. I think we've already got our first digit. If that was a 3, this would have to be 4 or 2, both of which are now pencil marked in the box. This has to be a 4, this has to be a 5 because 3 is not available, and we have our break-in. We also know that this is a 1, this RENBAN line has the digit 1 on it. So the rest of these have to be from 6, 7, and 8. We have a white KROPKI dot here. The 7 must be there because it's either a 6, 7 or 7, 8. Something about white KROPKI dots is you'll always be an even digit with an odd digit because they're only 1 apart. So that's not 7. 6 and 7 would be 13. We'd need a 3 to complete the 16 cage. 7 and 8 would be 15. We'd need a 1 to complete the 16 cage. And then we have 9 down here somewhere, together with this 6 or 8. This 6 or 8 specifically. So 9, 6, 8. I don't mind pencil marking that. Pencil marking here, though, on the other hand, I can't believe I looked at, 3 dots and just completely ignored it. So, the usual rule around 3 black dots in a row. They can only be from the sets 1, 2, 4, and 8, because the other option that can go on a black KROPKI dot 3 and 6, there's only 2 digits. You're not going to be able to put 2 digits in 3 cells. You're going to really struggle with that. So this is a 2, 4 in the middle, 1, 2, 4, 8 on either side, and I guess 1, 2, 4, or 8 over here. However, let's take a look at this white dot. That's probably going to tell us exactly what's going on. 1, 2, and 4 can't possibly join 6, 7, or 8. That's an 8. White KROPKI tells us this is a 7. This is now not 7. This is one of 6 or 8. That can only be a 4 on the black KROPKI. This can now only be a 2. Yes, I was thinking why couldn't it be an 8? Because obviously the 8 would go back down to a 4. So yeah, this is only a 2. And because we've already pencil marked in, well, we've already written in the 4 in box 6, this can only be a 1. Look at that. The 1 gives us the 3. That's already 10. We need another 6 to complete this. This is 5 or 7 next to the 6. And this is an 8, 9 pair. We've got 1, 2, 4, and 8 all looking at this set. This is 3, 6. Can't be anything else. You can already see these are the non-synchronized swimmers. because we've already said the orange arm have to have the same digits for them to be synchronized. Well, this 8, 9 clearly tells us that it's going to be different from this 3 or 6. And then the question is that we're trying to answer is this swimmer is synchronized to one of these. It's either synchronized to this swimmer or synchronized to that swimmer. But we do know for certain that one of these is not synchronized now, given these two are not the same. Let's keep going. What else do we know? Here's an obvious deduction. 14. So 14 and 2 cells can only be two options, 6 and 8 or 5 and 9. Now we have a black KROPKI dot joining it, and neither the 5 nor the 9 can go on a black KROPKI dot because it's either going to be 10 or 18 or the other way around, 2.5 or 4.5. So 5, 9 is nonsense. This is a 6, 8 pair. The 8 would be joined with a 4. The 6 would be joined with a 3. The 6 or 8 pair doesn't tell us enough because we know that 6 and 8 are definitely on the RENBAN line. Since it's 8 cells, 8 was always going to be on there, whether you're starting from 1 or 9, and 6 is always going to be on there. So that's kind of as far as we're going to be able to take it for the moment. So tempting to say, you know, this is a 4-1 pair and this is a 2-3 pair. Can I do that actually? Let me think this through. We know that this swimmer is either copying this or copying that. Now, if it's copying these guys down here, this has to be 3 and 2. If it's copying this one over here, then this is also a 5 cage, but we don't know if this is 1 or 4 or 2 or 3, so it doesn't really help us. We've got 3 and 4 looking in here. So this is the lower one of the 5. This is either a 1, 2, and this will be 3, 4 to go with it. So it's either a 1, 4 or 2, 3 in this order. This 3, 4, the 3 would have to be either joined with a 2 or a 4, neither of which is possible. So that's a 4, that's a 1. This cannot join the 3 because we've pencil marked it already in the box. This is therefore a 5. And if we take a look in here, this is now a 2-3 pair. Very tempting to say it's synchronized with this one, but again, we don't know that for certain. So can't rely on it. We have a 1 here though, which tells us the rest of this RENBAN. Or I should say, I should actually look at it the other way around. It tells us that this is a 5-9 pair. So 5, because I've already placed it on the RENBAN, but not in the box, so I know it's in none of these cells. And I also know that the 9 can't be on this RENBAN because I've already placed the 1, and it's an 8-cell RENBAN line. So that's a 5-9 pair. Which isn't helpful because I can still place basically anything. I don't know if I really want to pencil mark all the possibilities. I'm just taking a look at 2. So we know 2 is in here, one of these 2 cells. 3 is in a lot more cells. So yeah, this is not hugely helpful. Not hugely helpful, but at the same time, we've got this 18 cage, which may be. So this is all 2, 3, 6, 7, because we've already got 1, 4, and 5 on here. and 8 as well. However, this cell is not 2 or 3. So let's have a think about this now. Minimum this can be would be 5 and 6 to make 11. And then we'd have to join with a 7 in here. So 8 is not possible there. And then the maximum we can make this is 9 and 8, which would allow us a 1 in here. So not a 1 because we already got it written in the column, but basically says 2, 3, 6, and 7 are all allowed. Where do we go next? So we've got essentially another 5, 7, 9, which could be here or there, or a 2, because we haven't got a 2 anywhere in this column. And again, it can be here or there. So I don't know. Kind of, I really don't want to go down the route of pencil marking everything. And it feels like I can't really avoid it, if I'm honest. So this was 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. These are not 2. This is not 3. Yeah, that's a mess. Sorry, that's a mess. I'm not keeping that. This RENBAN line, maybe. So we know 2, 3, and 5, and 6 and 8 are not on this cell. So what is actually this cell? And it's on a white KROPKI as well, so this is quite helpful. So if it's 1, that would be 2. I guess that would be 3 and 2. Actually, that doesn't work because I'd be repeating the 2 on the RENBAN. So 1's not allowed, 2's not allowed, 3's not allowed. 4 with a 5 here is allowed. 5 not possible because we got it there. 6 not possible, we pencil marked it. 7 also not possible because the 6 and 8, which would join it on the white KROPKI, isn't available. 8, yep, not allowed because we've already pencil marked it. And then 9 would require us to put an 8 in here, which is also not allowed because we've got a 6-8 pair. So that is, I mean, it's hard to spot, but can't believe it's actually fixed. Now we need to finish this RENBAN. We need 6, we need a 5. None of these are 5. That's the 5. Lovely. And now we need this 6, 8, and then 1 or 9. So this is either 6, 8, 1, or 9. 1 in here is nonsense because that would be 6 and then I'd need to get to 11. That's not possible. In fact, it wasn't possible because I had a 1-2 pair here as well looking at it. 6 and 5 would make that 11 and then I'd need another 6 to get 17. And that's not possible either. 8, 5 would be 13 and then I'd need a 4 to get 17. 9, 5 would be 14 and then I'd need another 3. Look at that, 3, 4 pair, 8, 9 pair, 1, 2 pair. Surely we know what these are. This is 6 and 7, giving us, well, I knew that already because I've placed a 6 and 7. This was an 8, and that was there for a while. Silly. But yeah, 6, 7 pair, highly restricted, 8, 9 here. And if I remember, I said, oh no, that's not true. I said I need a 6, 8 and a 1, 9. But unfortunately, because this can be an 8 and this can be a 6, this can be 1, 9. The alternative could be that this is an 8, this is a 9, and this is a 6. So it's never 8, I think, because this is either 6, 9, 8, that's also allowed. Okay, ignore that. It can be anything it wants to be. So if that's 8, that would be 4. That would force this to be a 3. And if this is a 3, this is a 9. And therefore this would be an 8 and a 6. So that's totally plausible. 6, 3 would make this 8, 4. 8 and 4 breaks the puzzle. Because if I put an 8 in here, that's a 6, that's a 3. If that's a 3, that's a 4. So we've got 8 and 4, 6 and 3, essentially, because of this black KROPKI dot. If that's 8, 4, 4 and 5 is 9. And I need a second 8 on the RENBAN line, which isn't possible. So that's 6, that's 8, that's 4, that's 3. This is now 8. I need to get to 9. I feel like I've broken the puzzle now. 14 to make 17. Why have I broken the puzzle? And therefore this is not 6 or 9, this is 8. And the reason I'm saying I feel like I've broken the puzzle is 2 of these swimmers have to synchronize. And now all 3 of them are not synchronized. None of them are. How did I break it? Is the question. So yeah, the 4 here and the 5 here, I was pretty happy with that logic. This has to be a 5. I see the mistake I made. I repeated the 5 in here, but already placed it on the RENBAN line. Wow, I'm sure I'm going to read about this in the comments for a while. Pardon me. So we need 6, 7, 8 and a 1, 9. Whoops. No 1s here. So if there is a 1, it can only be there. And any of these could be 9. That's a bit of a mistake, pardon me. So 6 and 7 is the minimum, which would make that 13, and therefore I need a 4 to get to it. I'm actually going to say I need to have a 6 in here. 6 and 8 would make 14, and then that would allow me to add a 3. But notice I can't have 1 or 2 in the column. I've already pencil marked these. So 6 has to be in here with either a 7 or an 8. There is no 9. This is a 6, 7, 8 triple now. Therefore, this is the 1, 9 that we need to disambiguate at some point. And then, was the logic that I worked through here still sound? I think it probably will be. So I said if it was 8, 4, it broke the puzzle. 8 and 4 would make this 6, 7. That's actually fine this time. 6, oh, this couldn't have been a 6, because I've already said there has to be a 6 in here. That's an 8, that's a 6, that's a 3, that's a 4. 4 in here means I need to be at 13, which is 6, 7 pair. So we need in here another 8, 9 with a 5. This 5 tells us where the 5 is. That's the 5. That's an 8, 9, along with this 8, 9. And our swimmers are still potentially synchronized. So this is a much better place to be. Yep, all good. Right. We have, I'm fairly sure, a 3, 6 pair in here. So you've got 1, 2, and 4 all staring at this. So this could potentially be an 8, but because we've got a 4 in the box, I can't place that in here. So this is 3, 6. This 3 tells me the order. That's a 3. That's a 6. And I'm fairly sure that tells me a lot more now. And the reason I say that is we said one of these swimmers has to be synchronized. The fact that this is a 3 tells us it's not synchronized with this one. This swimmer is synchronized with that one. And that's a 3, that's a 6, that's 1 and 4. This is a 2, 3 pair. That's not 2 or 3, this is 6, 7 or 8. I can do this a bit better. That's 6, 7 pair, that's an 8. Can I do anything more? Yep, this 6, 8 here, that's an 8, that's a 9, that's an 8. Do I know which 6 or 7 it is? Have I got anything to tip me off? No. Maybe the orange arms, they will help, maybe. So what is left available here? So this could be, this is not a 2, because that can't be a 2. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7, 8, or 9. Not 7 though, because we've got a 6, 7 pair looking at this elbow here. So this is 8 or 9. This is 8 or 9, which is helpful, actually. That's a 9. That's an 8. Therefore, this is an 8. Rest of the arm, I guess, so this is not 1, because looking at that, 2, 3, 4. It could be 5. It can't be 6. Can't be 7. We've got a 6, 7 pair looking at it. Can't be 8. I was going to say it could be 9, but it can't be 9. We've got a 9 looking at it. So it is, in fact, 2 5s. 5, we've already got the 4 in here. Therefore, that's the 6, that's the 7, that's the 6. That gives us the rest of our swimmers in here. This 3 gives us the 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Have we got anything to give us the 5 and 9s? Because they're not on the swimmers, but actually we do. 6 and 7. That needs to be joined with a 5 in here to make 18. That's a 9. And this is, I'm going to say, a 5, 7 pair. Unresolved. Yeah. We've got a 7 in here. A 9 in there and 8 in here. I'm guessing we're going to be able to complete a lot of this box now. What are the 3 digits we require? We need a 1, a 6, and a 9. No 9, no 6. In here we need a 2, 3 and 4 by the looks of things. No 4, no 3. We've got the 4 already written. That's a 2, therefore. We need 7 and 9, I believe, to complete the row slash box. So that's 7, 9. In here, I need a 1. This one tells me the order. I need a 9. I need a 7 and a 4. Unresolved. We know what this is, though. That's a 9. I need a 1 and 2, it looks like. Unresolved. I need a 1 again, and 4 is resolved. That's a 4, that's a 1, 2, 1. I need 7, which can only be in here. Whoops, undo. In there, and an 8. Not an 8. I've already placed an 8. 2. 7 9s are still not known here. 5 7's not resolved. So I guess this black KROPKI dot is meant to help us. It's not 1, it's not 2. It could be 8 4. That looks possible. I'm guessing it can also be 6 3. 6 here tells us it could be 6 and 3. Not at all what I was expecting, I'll be honest. So you've got like a 4 7 9 triplet. So it's 3 4 7 9 and 3. Why do I say 3? 3. Oh, we don't have an 8, excuse me. 3 6. This is 4 7 9. I've got a 7 in here. That's 4 or 9. I guess finish pencil marking and then look for some sort of pairs or triplets by the sounds of things. So I need a 4, a 7, a 5, and oh, look at this 5, looking at this 7. There it goes. 5, 7. This is resolved now. The 7, maybe I can place it. Nope, can't yet. Does the 5, 7 give me anything else? Does the 9? This 6 does. That's a 1. That's a 9. That's a 6. What about the 3? Yes, it does. That's a 2. That's a 4. That's a 3. That's a 1. That's a 2. This is 7, 8. That's an 8. That's a 7. That's a 9. Whoops, 7. Yep. 4, 7, 9. Bit of a messy kind of solve since I sort of broke it here, but getting there. 5. I need 2 and 4, I believe, and if I've not made any other mistakes, that's the solution to today's puzzle. So, please excuse the solve. I think it was definitely messy when I went off the deep end by repeating the 5 in here. And then just a little bit of a clumsy solve towards the end with the Sudoku, but otherwise, pretty smooth sailing. And more importantly, what a phenomenal puzzle from Willpower. I didn't expect, the synchronicity of the swimmers to be so important for the solve. And the way that it kept you guessing, once you figured out that these two are not the same, you're constantly trying to figure out which one is this swimmer synchronized to, so you can actually just land a whole bunch of digits very quickly. And it really took a while, didn't it? But the black KROPKI dot, this white KROPKI dot was incredible as well. So thank you, Willpower, for the phenomenal puzzles as usual. Please keep them coming as you have been doing so recently. And for the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed the video and the puzzle, and see you back for the next one. Bye for now.